Good morning and welcome to this morning's reflection. It's good to be together again this morning. And how are you? At this very busy time of the year, let's just take a moment to be still, just to settle ourselves and to become aware of God's very gentle presence. Today we're going to reflect on the life of Henri Nouwen and allow his journey to illuminate our own. He was born in the Netherlands in 1932, and from a very early age his gifts were unmistakable. He became a Catholic priest, a psychologist, and one of the most influential spiritual writers of the 20th century. He taught at Notre Dame, Yale, and Harvard, the very peak of academic success. Yet even at the very height of his recognition, he was deeply, deeply restless. He wrote openly about loneliness, insecurity, and the hunger for love. Unlike many spiritual teachers, he did not pretend to have it all together. His journals reveal a man who longed for intimacy with God, with others, and with himself. He reminds us that vocation is not about achievement. It is about listening to the deep ache within us. He said our deepest vocation is to enter into communion with God. One of Henri Nouwen's most enduring contributions is his image of the wounded healer. Rather than seeing wounds as obstacles to ministry, he saw them as the very place where compassion is born. He understood that it is often our pain, unacknowledged, tender and exposed, that becomes the bridge to others. He taught that healing does not come from superiority, expertise, or distance, but from shared humanity. This was not theoretical for Henri, for he struggled with depression, and he wrestled with dependency, and he battled with self-doubt. And yet, he dared to believe that God was present precisely there. And he said, when our wounds cease to be a source of shame and become a source of healing, then we have become wounded healers. Then in 1986, he made an astonishing decision that startled many. He left Harvard and moved to L'Arche Daybreak, a community in Canada where people with intellectual disabilities live together with caregivers. To him it became a step inward. There he cared for a man called Adam who had severe difficulties. He could not speak, he could not walk. Adam could offer nothing in return, no admiration, no affirmation, and no productivity. And there Henri Nouwen discovered something profound. He learned that he was loved, not for what he did, but simply because he existed. And so he said the greatest trap in our life is not success, popularity or power, but self-rejection. In Adam's vulnerability, Henri Nouwen encountered the heart of the gospel. That God's beloved are not the strong, not the clever or the successful, but those who know their need. Perhaps one of his most beloved works is The Return of the Prodigal Son, inspired by Rembrandt's painting. At first he identified with the younger son, restless, searching and hungry for love. Then later he was able to recognize himself in the elder son, dutiful yet resentful, obedient yet distant. But ultimately, Henri Nouwen realized the invitation of the spiritual life is not just to come home, but to become the Father, the one who blesses, forgives, and welcomes. And this was the deep arc of his life, from seeking affirmation to offering compassion, from needing love to becoming love. He died suddenly in 1996 at the age of 64 from a heart attack while he was traveling in the Netherlands. Yet his voice has never grown silent. Through books like The Life of the Beloved, The Inner Voice of Love, and The Way of the Heart, he continues to speak, especially to those who feel fragile, weary, or unseen. Henri Nouwen teaches us that spiritual life is not about escaping our humanity, but embracing it and discovering that God is already there. As we sit with Henri Nouwen's life, we may hear an invitation to stop proving ourselves, to befriend our wounds, to trust that we are already beloved, not because we are useful, not because we are strong, and not because we are God's. Not because we are useful, not because we are strong, but because we belong to God. So let us end with his words, held gently in a place of silence. You are the beloved. That is the truth. Whether you believe it or not, you are the beloved of God. And may you sit with that today and be blessed. Amen.